Seer has become a household name throughout the Outlands. Why did you choose that name?
I think Seer suits me best.
Because of your eyes?
That was part of it. All of my life I had been known by these eyes. I thought it was time I made them my own.
That's, of course, a reference to your curse, correct? A calamitous gaze that some say resulted in the destruction of Boreas' moon.
You speak of a fable.
It's no fable that the moon's destruction has led to increasingly devastating weather patterns, dying ecosystems, and a shortage of food, among other catastrophes for the citizens of Boreas. According to a recent poll, a growing number of them list you as the reason for these disasters. How does that make you feel? I see. I wonder what your fans think of that.
Thank you for inviting me to your show. You have given me a lot to think about.
Welcome back, my legends, and today we're going to talk about Seer because he actually got some lore.
It's been 84 years.
If you go to Apex Legends Twitter account, we see that they posted a new cinematic, and what is happening here is that Seer was being interviewed by Lisa Stone. Now, for those of you who don't know who Lisa Stone is, she's the person that interviewed the great James McCormick, also known as Forge, back in season 4, where she saw Revenant do this to Forge.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties. Sorry about that.
Don't worry.
And so she hasn't really made an appearance ever since then, except back in season 12. She made her reappearance where she made a 3-part series called Unravel the Web of Lies of the Syndicate, where she spent most of those segments trying to make the current leadership of the Syndicate look bad.
I'm Lisa Stone, and I'm going to unravel the well-laid web of lies the Syndicate has wrapped us in. They are connected to negligent leadership that prioritizes profits over the safety of our citizens. And it doesn't stop there. It makes you wonder, with so many people at the helm of the Syndicate, why are we seeing issues pile up while they debate the solution? Like the event with the terrorists at the museum, and the infection brought into Olympus. So what do we do? Who can we depend on? I'll tell you who. Eduardo Silva, CEO of SILVA Pharmaceuticals. A man of action and integrity, he is ready to take a stand against the Syndicate's incompetence. Silva sounds like a man on a mission. So we here at OTV will be watching with great interest. I'm Lisa Stone, and thank you for listening to Unraveling the Syndicate.
Even though we now know this was caused by Torres Silva, Octane's grandpa, who pretended to be his dad, I'm just gonna call him Mr. Silva for simplicity's sake. What happens is that Eduardo actually wins and becomes the head of the Syndicate. All thanks to Octane and Lisa Stone for using their influence to promote him to the very top.
What's our next move, Mr. President?
There's going to be some changes around here.
All this information is very important, my legends, because it all connects back to Seer. What's happening is that there is a reason why Lisa Stone wanted to interview Seer, and it's very obvious because now that Mr. Silva is in charge, he now has to fix these old issues that he promised to solve. Since Boreas' moon got hit by a meteor, there's been a lot of bad stuff happening. Now, Lisa Stone reported some of this, people losing their homes, people being hungry, but in the season 10 loading screen, we see something called Lunar Impact Report, and basically this group of scientists were telling the planet's leaders that within 50 to 70 years, if nothing is done, nobody will be able to live on this planet, and now this problem is in the hands of Mr. Silva. Now, obviously, he's not going to try to solve this issue, and so he's going to need some kind kind of distraction, or better yet, someone to point the finger at. And what better person than Seer? Now, Seer's history with the planet Boreas is a very sad one because he's basically being hated for being born and having blue eyes. All because of this old folktale that people just took way too serious. And the thing that makes this very interesting is that even after so many years, the people of Boreas still voted that it was his fault. Now, it is possible that those poll numbers are fake, but I have a suspicion that they're actually real. People just don't like Seer. I guess it's just easier to blame somebody than take responsibility for themselves. And so from that point of view, it seems like Seer is being set up to be some kind of antagonist. But that can't be possible. I mean, it's Seer. It's not like he might have some secret vendetta against the people that made him and his parents' life miserable. Could he?
Your parents love their little guy so much. How else can you explain putting up with the suffering he brought into their lives? But no, homie, the deep down real curse is loving you.
Now, before you call me crazy, first of all, you're too late, but second of all, what if Lisa Stone is actually right? Once you take all the emotion and the feelings of these questions, they're basically simple questions like, why hasn't Seer done anything to help the people of Boreas? How come with all his popularity, he hasn't raised awareness, donated money, or tried to help volunteer for his people? But all of a sudden, this poll starts to make a whole lot more sense. Maybe it's not that his people still hold a grudge for him being born. Maybe they now hate him because he's done nothing to help them out. I mean, yeah, Seer has no obligation to help out his people, but now that he's become popular and famous, you would think the very least he could do is mention something about Boreas, but as Lisa Stone pointed out, he hasn't. It's kind of like if you had a neighbor that you hated and you saw his house was on fire. The very least you could do is call 911, but in this metaphor, Seer hasn't done that. All he has done is watch the fire consume the house and watch the person he hates the most disappear. And just like that, this now makes me realize, what if the old folktale is wrong? What if it's not that a blind princess was led by a moth to a flame? What if it was the moth not warning the princess where she was headed? All of a sudden, this urban legend starts to make a whole lot more sense. But yeah, my legends, that'll do for this video, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.